Howdy and welcome to Tuesday's serving of Daily Bread. This week we are going over giving God first place. Giving God first place is demonstrated in a life of righteousness. Our scripture reading today is Haggai 1:1-6. In the second year of King Darius, on the first day of the 6th month, the word of the Lord came through the prophet Haggai to Zerubbabel, son of Shealtiel, governor of Judah, and to Joshua, son of Jehozadak, the high priest. This is what the Lord Almighty says. These people say, the time has not yet come for the Lord's house to be built. Then the word of the Lord came through the prophet Haggai. It is a time for you yourselves to be living in your paneled houses while this house remains a ruin. Now this is what the Lord Almighty says. Give careful thought to your ways. You have planted much, but harvested little. You eat, but never have enough. You drink, but never have your fill. You put on clothes, but are not warm. You earn wages only to put them in a purse with holes in it. Now, people who truly love God find ways to become involved in His work. A lack of desire to minister for the Lord in some way reveals that serving God is not a priority. The Jewish remnant had placed their own comfort before God's house and had neglected the work that they were called to do. They had replaced spiritual service with materialism. They claimed they did not have the financial means to rebuild the temple, yet they had enough money to spend on their own houses. In the same way, we can become so caught up with pleasure and possessions, we neglect our spiritual service to God. Instead of tithing and giving to the ministries of the church, we spend our finances on pleasure. Rather than spend time ministering to others, we spend our time fulfilling our own desires. When we neglect serving God, we are showing God does not have first place in our lives. Selfish interests are more appealing than the self-denial that comes when we are dedicated ourselves to God. We sometimes ease our consciences by promising ourselves, well, we'll do God's work later. But the longer we procrastinate, the more obstacles we find to carrying out our spiritual duties. God has called on the people to examine their behavior and motives. God invited them to look around and see what happened after they decided it was not time to build the temple. God sometimes withholds from us to cause us to examine our relationship with Him. Don't allow our attitudes toward God and others to stop the flow of His blessings in our lives. Thank you, and I pray that you've enjoyed today's portion of Fresh Daily Bread, and may God richly bless you today.